Welcome back. Hey, welcome to CapZeyeZ. We're with Margaret and Andy from the Chronicle, and we're here to do some more shameless plugging and bashing and bitching. So let's have at it.
It's not really advertising, though.
That's right. We're not going to advertise.
No advertising.
We promise. Anyway, go ahead with your...
Just shameless plugging. Well, first of all, where do we start plugging? The film festival, South by Southwest Film Festival, has just started recently, and I was down there earlier tonight seeing Bill Whitliff talk about the cuts of the movies that he had done with Willie Nelson, including Barbarossa and Red-Headed Stranger. And it was more interesting than I thought it would be. I guess I shouldn't say that kind of thing, but which means I think that probably if you pick up the supplement in the Chronicle and take a look at it, you might find some interesting things in there. They're also doing some special screenings, like the movie that was filmed that Tara Venerusso did, Janis Joplin Slept Here,
which is sort of a history of Austin music.
Yeah.
And it's actually fairly complete. I mean, it goes from the...
She started at the psychedelic days and kind of moved her way up, but she got all kinds of interviews in there. She got Jimmy Vaughn and some of the guys from Soul Hat. And
it's her first effort, and it just goes all the way from the beginning to the end. And it's a great way to learn about Austin music.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting because I wasn't sure what I expected from it, and she's not from around here, but it seems like she really likes the scene and everything. So she turned her passion for it into a project for college. And anyway, she's got this movie, Janis Joplin Slept Here, and I think that's something cool to watch. Doc's Full Service, which is Eagle Pennell, who's a local filmmaker from Texas, is also premiering. Enough about the film festival. On to the one that I really like to plug, which is the Austin Music Awards. And this is our 12th annual show for our 13th poll, and it comes up this Wednesday night. And as always, we have an evening full of music. We've got Don Walser, Los Pinkies, Jimmy LaFave, The True Believers, Angela Straley, and she's going to have Rocky Erickson and Luann Barton doing Starry Eyes in the set.
Which leads into my favorite part of the bill, which is Little Sister and then Pariah.
Right, and Doug Som's going to do...
Doug Som's going to be with Pariah, and the Ugly Americans are going to be jamming with Little Sister.
Yeah, that's right.
So that'll all segue straight down
and
the night.
Yeah, and we always get special guests who walk in. I've got special guest presenters like Kathy Valentine, and Mr. Biscuit from the Big Boys is going to be there. Rick Linklater from Dazed and Confused, and Wiley Wiggins, one of the stars of the movie, is going to be there. So it's always kind of fun. It's just kind of a big schmooze fest. And I'll tell you what, people are always trying to get backstage and everything, but about half of it goes on out front, right there in front of the men's room, because there's that area right there where it's close to backstage, close to the men's room, and close to the entrance to the hall. And boy, you just hang around right there if you want to get in the action.
With everyone in town, South by Southwest is one big backstage.
Yeah, it really is. They do that golf tournament during the day now, which is a charity function, and I think that's real cool. Should we tell the Jenny Garth thing?
Jenny Garth was invited. We don't know if she's going to be there.
Yeah, but we're big 90210 fans. So Jenny, if you're watching this, if you have any fans or family out there, can we say, it's not about prices, so we can say that, right? Jenny, please come. We would like to have you here. And then the next day, Johnny Cash is the keynote speaker, and it kicks off South by Southwest, and that's when all the music and the panels and stuff start. And I'm doing a panel this year. I'm not doing groupies this year. I'm not talking about my past. I'm talking about how to avoid bad press.
How do you?
That's a good question.
Well, how much money you have?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one. Well, I guess, one of the things that they always used to say was, well, Andy Warhol always says there's no such thing as bad press, well. Let's ask Gibby.
Yeah.
He was out
No,
of
but
that.
I legitimately believe that there's no such thing as bad press. I don't care if it's a 1-star review or a 4-star review. If you got your name out there, then you're one step better than the guy who doesn't have their name out there.
True.
Think so?
Hopefully, because the Chronicle keeps giving us 1 star. Just kidding.
Okay, we'll make a note of that for Rob out there. Yeah, but I mean, do you really think that? Because so what if like your first shot in getting in print is they trash your whole thing? I mean, you've worked 2.5 years on this band. This is your first effort, and somebody says, piece of shit,
I don't think. I mean, look at from Led Zeppelin on down, pretty much the greats always get trashed by someone. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, the people.
Yeah, I mean, it's always just one asshole's opinion.
Yeah.
Is what is basically what it comes down to.
Really, and also not that many people listen to the critics. I don't think.
I would hope not, man.
Well, I think more people listen than you think.
I mean,
I've come to find that out.
I think they read them, and then so they can throw it down. Like, what do they know? And stuff like that. Which I hope kind of is the way they react toward it, because I think that makes them think more for themselves. I mean,
hopefully. I think a person that reads it before they've seen you is going to take it very differently than a person that hasn't seen you, of course. Because if they've already formulated an opinion, then it's very different than, it's probably more detrimental if they haven't seen you, of course. But
yeah.
Well, I think the whole point of criticism, in it, whether it's good or bad, is just sort of to weed out, because there's so much stuff. There's so many records, and there's so many live bands to go see, especially in a town like Austin, that if you know that you like what Margaret writes, for instance, if you know that your tastes are similar to Margaret's, then you're more she weeds that stuff out for you, and you know where to start in your pursuit of finding music you're going to like.
Yeah.
And see, I think that's more or less where the real strength of any kind of criticism is. I don't know. I mean,
like you said, it's any write-up is sort of advertisement, even if it's a bad write-up. Probably, at least.
But we've been having, Andy and I and Raul Hernandez, we've been having this kind of ongoing discussion for a long time about like criticism and stuff like that, because I've been around for a long time in Austin. I've lived in Austin almost 20 years, hanging out in the clubs and going to see the bands and stuff like that. And when I started writing out, rock criticism, it was hardly even a phrase or anything. It was just, maybe you could write for Rolling Stone, or maybe you could start your own paper, but now rock criticism seems to be something like you go to school for, to get educated for, you aspire to be on MTV or something, and that, to me, I guess it kind of takes away from the fun of it a little bit. But, when you were saying earlier, you mentioned something about even the greats take it, like Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. There seem to be like these sort of 3 levels in it. If you're truly unknown, you don't have much chance of getting press at all. If you're somewhere in that indie, regional, up-and-coming area, you're likely to get a lot of good press. Once you reach the top, you're likely to get slammed from everywhere because you're sold out, you're successful, you've sold 1 million records and that kind of stuff. So
I should be a rock critic. Make me one.
Hey, I'll give you Rob Patterson's number. You call him on
I've actually met with Rob.
Have you really?
Yeah, I met with him. We had a good talk one night. I think he was surprised because of...
Here we go! Right! We finally got the boys with the butts in.
The Noodle Boys with cheap press. But no,
I saw Lance Snacks. He almost unzipped his pants, but he weenied out at the last minute.
But yeah, I did meet with Rob, though.
Yeah?
And, it was good. We talked about music that was made before I was born.
I trust you didn't talk about his colon. Oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about that.
Does he have a spastic colon?
Ask Craig Kuhn. He's the one who needs to keep on top of that sort of thing, or maybe not literally, but
I'm staying out of all this.
Well, but back to the whole thing. I like this little paper apathy trend that I picked up at Sound Exchange, and they really trashed all of us.
What they did is they reviewed us. Did you see it?
No.
There's this thing, Apathy Trend. It's a fanzine. It's photocopied. They don't even use their real names, which I think is the most spineless part of the whole thing.
I love this kind of stuff.
I'm really amused by the whole concept, but to not use their own names when we put our own names on our shit. You know, I mean, everyone says Andy Langer, everyone says Margaret Moser, and I'm out there and I have to either defend or, you know,
except when I used
whatever,
to write for little fanzines like that, though, I had, you know, my friends had names like Debbie Groupie and Nick Modern and Johnny 1980, and those are all real names from Sluggo magazine.
And they all work for the Chronicle now.
Well.
But anyway, they reviewed us like we were records, and it says, you know, Andy Langer, almost not totally lame. And then it goes on to say that
proud of that.
Yeah, almost not totally lame is going to go on my business cards. And it basically just says that, you know, I review too much promo stuff, and that even when I do like bands, it's shitty bands like Little Sister and blah, blah. And, you know, but it was interesting that somebody was reading and then had studied us enough to review us like a record. And I think it's a cool thing. Yeah. I
also think those are really legitimate avenues, though. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I really like to read. I love a rebel cause, you know, and I mean, I don't care that they went after me or my friends or my livelihood or anything like that. I also noticed that they didn't go after the statesmen and stuff, which means that, well, I don't know what that means. I shouldn't go off on that.
Well, in the end, it's just one asshole's opinion, right? You know?
Except that I love that because when I see something like Apathy Trend happening out there, it means that there is real life out there in the scene. It means they really think, feel, and love what they do, and they want somebody to know about it because we're not doing good enough a job. You know, so, and sometimes we don't, you know. We're guilty of that. We plead, ouch. Sorry. Can't cover it all. But Andy can, because... Is Noodle going to play again?
No, Noodle. I'm kidding. They're sound checking. I think we may have some calls, speaking of people wanting to lash out on us.
Do we have telephone calls? Hello, you're on the air?
Maybe not.
Having a bit of an audio problem.
This is that feedback thing that Iggy Pop just did at the end of the show, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was really hot. I walked in while he was doing Lust for Life, and it's just like, you know.
For 46 or whatever he is, he was amazing.
Really?
I mean, more energy than...
Guys,
than
half his
anyone.
age.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable.
But, you know, I mean, when you were talking about, you talked to Rob and stuff before, the Chronicle, I guess, has always hoped that they could be an avenue. I know this is going to make a lot of people laugh, but hope they could be an avenue for new writers, you know, who have different opinions. You know, it's not just, you know, you said it's one asshole's opinion, you know. Bunch of us assholes around.
Right, get a variety of assholes.
So you get a variety of assholes' opinions, you know, and I think that's one of the really interesting things about, you know, whether it's the Chronicle or the Statesman or...
Well, the Statesman's got Mark Fort now, who's great.
Yeah,
you know,
he's good.
And they're using...
Well, McLeese
they
is
have
good.
very, you know, younger writers.
McLeese is good. McLeese is just very... I think he's more limited in his scope, and, you know, he doesn't review unless you're white and over 40, or, you know, or play before 10 o'clock at night. So,
right.
you know,
Do we have calls or not?
I think we have calls, but we also have audio difficulties.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Well, I like this sort of bad press that we were... Yeah, the bad press thing we were talking about, because they told me the other day unexpectedly that I was supposed to be the moderator. So I haven't thought anything about it, and you guys are giving me lots of ideas here. So, now, what are you doing? You're going to do a panel?
No, I did the Hard Rock listening panel last year, and it was a nightmare. I mean, because basically, when you get records to review, I mean, like right now, South by Southwest time, I have 40 records to listen to, you know, that they've doled out to us. And you can listen to 3 or 4 minutes of a record and basically get an idea whether you're going to like the rest of it or that kind of thing. You know, you develop that where you can listen to the beginning of a song and know what the rest of the song is going to sound like.
Right.
You can't do that when they slam 60 things down in front of you with the band sitting there in the same room, which is the way these listening panels work at South by Southwest. And it's nearly impossible to do that. And they want, like, you know, we're supposed to be some kind of experts. And they want these full-on critiques right there.
Are we live?
Yeah, hello.
You're on.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
You're on the air.
Yeah, what do y'all like to do? Like in your spare time?
Go out and see bands.
Oh, that's not your spare time.
Yeah. I don't have any. I watch People's Court.
Yeah?
Yeah, I tape it every day.
Joseph A. Wapner?
Yeah, him and Rusty. I think they behind
Doug
the
Llewellyn's pretty
Doug
cool.
Llewellyn smokes ball.
I met Doug Llewellyn when I went.
No.
I did. I met him. I went.
Oil Can Harry's?
No. I was out in L.A. and I managed to weasel my way into a Designing Women set, and they were doing it on there, and Doug Llewellyn just happened to be there. And when they're doing live TV shows, in between the scenes, they have a comic out there in the audience, keeping them going and stuff. And the comic goes, we'd like to introduce Doug Llewellyn, our big star in the audience. Dobie Gillis was in the audience too.
But Doug Llewellyn ranks over Dobie Gillis.
And so we've been kind of talking about the comic. Oh,
hello,
Andy.
Yes.
This is Kelly, and I have the best segue into your bad press discussion.
Oh, all right.
Lapping up snatches.
Kelly happens to know the Mr. Rocket Baby guys who got a negative. Well, what's been considered a negative review this week that Mindy did, and he's wearing a Mr. Rocket
And
Baby shirt.
I also called to compliment the new Seed record. It's incredible. We listened to the tape and we totally loved it.
Where have you gotten it?
You guys dropped it off at our house.
Who is this?
This is Kelly.
Oh, I wish I had
Richard's
a copy.
Kelly.
Oh, of course. I was going to say, I don't even have a copy myself. Gabrielle gave you his only one. Well, thank you. Thank you. Do you see I'm wearing your shirt?
That's all. I am too. I'm in bed. I'm all tucked in. I'm wearing a Mr. Rocket Baby t-shirt.
Did you guys plan this?
No. This was totally unplanned. Tell him. He doesn't believe me. No. Mr. Rocket Baby is definitely... I couldn't believe the kind of tepid review that was given either.
I didn't think it was a negative review. I think anytime you get 3 stars, it's not a negative review.
Yeah, but
she happened to bring up the point that Mindy had included the line "lapping up snatches" in there. Now it's lapping up snatches of sour milk or something.
Right.
That line is
in the middle of the jellyfish reference. It was just kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I called them the single cutest band in Austin. Does that count for anything?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Well, I just wanted to tell you guys it was a great tape, and you need a copy.
Cool.
So you can hear it. It's really cool.
Thank you for the good plug.
If he had another one, we'd ask for one.
That's right. I will get you one though, personally.
Okay,
Call
cool.
me.
And me?
And you.
Okay.
But y'all both better review it. I want both of y'all reviewing it in the Chronicle.
We'll do a joint review.
We'll do a joint review.
Okay.
Either that or we'll just pass it off to Patterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, seriously. Rob Patterson should like me because we had a good talk. We talked about old Joni Mitchell and Cat Stevens.
Oh God, he'll love you.
Right. And he thought, this punk kid doesn't know, but then I busted out and I knew the shit. And
all you have to do is go Lone Star Cafe, New York, 1980s. You're it.
He'll say Kinky Friedman.
That's right.
Well, take care, guys.
All right.
See you.
Thanks for the call.
Good night.
Anyway, but yeah. Oh wait. Okay. Well, I want to hear the rest of the Doug Llewellyn story in a minute.
Oh, the rest of the Doug Llewellyn story was that in between one of the scenes, we had sort of made jokes to the comic, and he kind of liked me and my girlfriend, and so when he was introducing Doug Llewellyn, I said, I want to see him do the thing he does at the end of People's Court, and he said, what thing? I said, the one where he goes, so if you remember, if you've been involved in an accident or something, he goes, and the comic turns to the audience and he goes, I don't think we want to see Doug Llewellyn do this. I think we want to see you do this. So he made me stand up in front of the studio audience and do, and remember, if you have been in a traffic accident. Well, he thought it was very funny. He wasn't paying much attention to it until all of a sudden he realized that everybody was looking at him and that I was standing here directing this whole routine that he does at the end of People's Court to him. So he seemed to think it was very funny and sort of stood up and gave me a little standing ovation.
Was he wearing pants?
He was wearing the same tie that he wears on People's Court. That's what I noticed.
Was his hair groomed in the same pompadour fashion?
I think it's a rug. But
I did too.
Oh, is that a call?
Hey, you guys. This is Tara.
Hey.
We just plugged Tara's movie.
Hey, Andy.
Yes.
I was just thinking about this. We were walking down 6th Street, Michelle and I, and we didn't see you. And now I came home, I flipped through the channels, and here you are. This is a good excuse. Good reason why we didn't see you on 6th Street.
So you missed us plugging your film just a minute ago?
You were? No, I just tried
No, we went on about it because we were talking about, we started out shamelessly plugging things tonight, so so we started plugging the film festival, and I was telling them about some of the special stuff coming up. And by the way, on the air with us we have Tara Veneruso, freshman filmmaker and director of Janis Joplin Slept Here.
And friend of Michelle Solberg, who we have to say hi to, too.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
And who's the guy in the middle? I've never met you.
He's cute, isn't he? He's in Seed. Their tape is great. Just ask Kelly.
Oh, we heard your song after we saw this really weird gangster movie, and your song was on the radio.
Really?
KLBJ or something.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's maybe where Walker is playing your song.
That's probably it.
Oh, that's why Walker's not here.
Walker's a good guy. Walker likes us too.
Walker's the man.
Well, it's good to see you guys on TV. It really is kind of weird, but I'm happy for you.
Did you go to Iggy tonight?
Well, I went to go see Ed Hall, actually, and they hadn't gone on at 1 o'clock, so it was like, Michelle, you know, she wanted to go home, so we left.
That was Michelle. Michelle's like me. Maybe
Michelle's not
roommates.
into late nights.
But we had done the whole, you know, club hopping thing, and it was pretty fun. There was a good band playing down at the Black Cat, and I think Charlie Sexton was at the Steamboat, but you have to pay to get in, so we kept on walking.
Hey, have you seen Lucas Haas's band down at the Black Cat?
Save Your Soul,
Right?
Yeah, Save Your Soul, yeah.
Are they good?
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I like them.
He's so cute. I'd go see him. Sorry, I already said that about Rocket Baby. They can only have one cute band quota a night.
Yeah, but
so.
they are the cutest.
Oh, yeah, they are the cutest ones. So, but maybe that's just weekly. I can do that. So, anyway.
Well, take care. Have a good night, you
Thanks
guys.
for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, we've known both callers so
God,
far.
really?
That's very weird.
We must be doing someone.
We have another one, or
No, I think we're leaving the airwaves to go elsewhere. But this has been Margaret and Andy.
What a pleasure. Thanks for having us on the air.
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
Yeah, it's been great.
We'll,
gave me lots of fodder for the panel.
I'm trying to say, from my point of view.
From your point of view.
A real loser's point.
Yeah. You know, just it's always good to be on the air. It's good that CapZeyeZ is on. This is the kind of thing that I have on late at night when I'm writing. You know, 3 in the
come home
morning,
from the
nothing
street
else
and you can watch this.
Right.
Yeah.
This is great stuff.
Dave Prewitt, man.
Thanks, Dave.
Does a
Do
very
good job.
service.
Dave and Johnny, they're the men. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
And not Ray Dog for not showing up.
Yeah, where is Ray?
Weenie.
He's spanking.
I'll call him a pussy. You can say that on the air.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Just don't say how much it costs.
It costs.
Right. Ray is available.
Yeah,
you can buy Ray.
What does he have a colon story? No.
I don't think so.
Anyway, see you.
Bye-bye.
More bands next.
Took a whole lot of loving in a room can't breathe for bitter love and dust. Shadows falling on a face he had known, never told his only son. A grandmother's pride and joy, a daughter firstborn, a crowded house can't squeeze a boy into a man. Mama won't be the one begging on her knees, did the best she could to raise me single-handed. Ooh, daddy's gone. Ooh, daddy's gone. And the mouth was living like a war to make ends meet. Had privileged visitation, no money down. Don't worry, Christmas coming, holy shoes to make it right. She traded everything for her 2 children born. A Saturday afternoon, the check is in the mail. My baby sister needs a dress and a pair of boots. She called in my arms and said, "Is Papa coming home? A man can leave while a mother pays her dues." Ooh, daddy's gone. Ooh, daddy's gone. check is in the mail. Baby sister needs a dress and a pair of boots. She crawls to my arms and says, is Papa coming home? Did the best she could to raise me single head. Ooh, Daddy's gone. Thanks.
Surrounded by space and meat and blood and bones, as we apprehensively step outside den of iniquity, hey, compressing and condensing the knowledge through our stems. Unfortunately, through no fault of our own, we've lost chastity. Going crunch, munch, munch as raw beans begin to spill. And what consumers we are, and oft times carnivorous. We are more than just mindless, spineless, quivery animals. With bitter on our tongues, we imagine truth to be delicious. Escape from iniquity. Escape from iniquity. Escape from iniquity. With crystals tweaked to peak and constantly humming. Excess potassium trickles down to disintegration land. Those who are tired of being labeled the cloned and drowned. Hey, 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 are having weird meetings down in the basements of our cities. And our mentalities have never stopped on dime. And listen very closely and you can hear a squish, pump, squish. We all must admit that it granted one cosmetic wish. Shazam, we fly like the bird and swim like the fish. Escape from iniquity. Escape from iniquity, yeah. Escape from iniquity. Escape from escape from iniquity. Escape from